Welcome folks, SoCal Air Fryers. I posted a post about air frying fried chicken, and I got so many responses. I got a call from my sister, old long friend Harry Parson, emailed me or Facebook me. I guess you call it. I'm an old timer. I'm not like you youngsters, for God's sakes. And so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you what I do to fry fried chicken in an air fryer. And trust me, I know the skeptics out there, because I used to be one. My wife bought our first air fryer a year and a half ago, and it sat in the cupboard for a year. She cooked one time in it. Sat in the cupboard for a year. I recently made some changes in my life, so I got a lot more time, a lot more energy. So what I got out about 3 or 4 months ago was the air fryer. And I got on the internet and I found ways to cook certain things, and I wanted to try it. And the first thing I tried were the chicken wings, and they came out absolutely fabulous. But there's a couple things you got to do to make sure they do. So I'm gonna help you with that. First thing you got to do is look over here. I got already seasoned chicken wings. Now what I do, and most people don't do, is they don't season the chicken wing. They just season the flour that goes, or the coating that goes over the chicken wings. If you want the best flavor, you want to season the chicken wings and add a little seasoning to the coating or the flour that goes on it, or whatever coating you're using on it. And that's the best way to do it. So what I started with is my go-to, which is my Lowry's. You can't mess with Lowry seasoning salt. That's the best stuff out there. Then I threw in a little bit of paprika to add a little color, a little bit of flavor on it. Most important, and I learned this online watching videos on air fryer, is some meat tenderizer. Never put that on chicken before, but you need to try it. And then of course, I got a little Hispanic persuasion in me. My wife's Hispanic. And I got a little cayenne pepper, but be easy with this. Easy with your cayenne pepper. And then also, my wife loves garlic, so I got a little garlic salt in there. And that's what I put on the chicken, and I do both sides, the front and back. What I do is I wash my chicken first, put it down, I pat it dry so it's completely dry on both sides, and then I add the seasoning. After I add the seasoning, I'm going to coat it with an egg. Put a little egg coat around it. Then I'm going to take that chicken that's got egg coat around it, and I'm going to put it in my mix of the flour and seasoning. Now what I want to do right now is mix the flour and seasoning. And what I do is I take about 4 or 5 cups of the flour. I'll do that real quick. Let's see if I don't make a mess. I just want to make sure that was a cup. That looked all big. Okay. And since I'm only cooking about 4 or 5 of these, I'm going to use a little bit less flour. What I use is I use 2.5 cups right now of flour. And then what I usually do with my flour is I go to my go-to, because remember, the flour is going to coat the outside of the chicken, so when you bite into it, and yes, Patrice, there will be a crunchy sound when you hear me bite into it. When you bite into it, you also want to taste the seasonings on the chicken, but you also want to taste that seasoning that's in the coating on it. So what I do is with 2.5 cups of the flour that I put in, I just put regular flour, I'm going to put a couple of tablespoons of my Lowry seasoning salt. And what this will do, it will add a little, put about 2 tablespoons, and then I mix it up in there really good. So I want to make sure that that seasoning gets all over the place on it. Okay, mix that up. And sometimes what I usually do is to also give it a little spice up, also give it a little spice on the outside. I put a little bit of the cayenne pepper in there, but again, you want to be very careful with this, because that will make it spicy as heck. And depending on your palate, you want to make sure that you like your spices. See, even Mitra, she likes the spices. Okay, that's my little doggy there. Okay, mix this really well, and it'll change the color. You can see a little bit. It'll change the color. You can see a little bit of the flour. Okay, I'm getting old, so I gotta put on my glasses. Now what I want to do is I want to wash my hands. So give me a second, let me wash up my hands, I'll be right back. Okay, now we're back, wash my hands, and now we're gonna get ready for it. So here's what we did. First thing we did is I put on a glove, because when you cook with a glove, you use a glove. So with that said, what you're gonna start with is over here, we're gonna look over, you're gonna start with your chicken here. Like I said, it's got all the seasoning already in there that we put in there, so I'll turn this in case you need to see what it is, you can. Okay, don't forget my go-to Lowry. Okay, you got the chicken. What you want to do is you're going to want to coat your chicken with, and my wife loves these little party pack ones, so that's why I got these for her too. But you coat the chicken with some of the egg, and you can do a couple at a time. Get in there and make sure you get a lot of egg on it to make sure you get the flavor, the coating that you want on it. What I do, I'll take 3 and put it in there. And what I'm going to do is I take it, and if you're from old school, you remember the old shake and bakes. What's the chicken you used to shake in the bag? I forgot. I think it was called shake and bake. Anyway, shake it up. You want to make sure it gets coated everywhere on that chicken. So that's good. And then when it comes out, you're going to dump the excess. You'll dump the excess off of it. And you've got a perfectly coated piece of chicken. Lay it down. Hit the next one. Okay. And what I like to do is once I get them nice and coated, get them inside the bag again, dump off any excess of the egg, then I'm going to put in this bag another scoop of my seasoning. Of my flour with the seasoning in it. So that way I get it nice and coated on it. And then we're off and running again. Shake and bake. SoCal Fryer away. Okay. So then again, dump the excess. Now what I'm going to do, so I don't bore the hell out of you, is I'll do these other ones too over here. I coat these guys one at a time, get them nice and make sure I get that egg all over it. Okay. Get a little excess off of there. Drop that little sucker in there. Give me a little bit more seasoning on it. Flour on it. And make sure you get your flour everywhere because the air fryer is going to cook it for you. Now, depending on what type of air fryer you have, and you need to check the directions on it. Some air fryers need to be what's preheated like an oven. We have 2 of them. We have a Ninja, and I've also got a Chef Man. Our Ninja, which is a little bit smaller, needs to be preheated, and usually preheat for like 2 to 3 minutes on whatever temperature you're going to cook on. With the Chef Man is a little bit. Sorry, no. Can you hand me that behind you? No. Yes. The Chef Man is a little bit bigger and a little bit stronger. So with the Chef Man, I don't have to preheat it. I can go ahead and just start it and put the chicken in it. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to put all this chicken on one. Let me feel a little bit better. And then what I usually do with the extra flour that I have left, because I always make more than I should, because I think I'm cooking for an army and I'm not. But what I usually do is I'll save it, put it in the bag, so the next time that I do chicken, not the stuff that I use, but the stuff that's in there, the next time I do chicken, I can just, instead of seasoning flour again, I have the seasoning already in there for me. And you can see, I cooked chicken on a stove before. I don't like it. First of all, I can't determine the temperature of the grease a lot of the times. And I want to make sure that I get it right. What I like about this is, and usually the grease is hot, it's popping everywhere, it makes a little bit of a mess. This way the mess is a little bit cleaner, because I hate having to clean up. Okay. Now, when you're done, it's going to be coated like this, so you can see it. Alright folks, now the magical moment that you all been waiting for, but I gotta tell you a little secret. Get yourself some palm olive oil spray, or my wife likes a real butter taste spray sometimes. But if you get this, this is your Top Gun secret to air frying. And what you're gonna do is I'm gonna spray the tops of these just a little bit, just so it turns them a little color like golden almost. And you can see that on there. Okay. Now again, like I said, most air fryers will have you, and the most important thing to do, that I forgot to do, is do both sides. So what you're going to do is turn it over. And the reason that you do both sides is that if you don't, it's an air fryer, it's going to fry from all sides. It will stick to the bottom of the air fryer. I mean, to the grill that you're cooking, frying it on, or supposedly frying it on. So you want to make sure it gets nice, and there you go. Now what I'm going to do, is we're going to use our Chefman. We've got two of these right now. I don't know if you can see this. We've got a Ninja, and the Ninja's cool because I can cook like I cook like a frittata in there. A frittata's like a quiche, but it's a breakfast quiche. And it's got a little fryer thing in there you can pull out. I've also cooked chicken wings and things in here, but I like using the Chefman better because the Chefman actually gives me a tray and also a window that I can look out of and a light I can put on inside to see, almost like cooking in a real oven. So with that said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the Chefman on. You can see on the front, it's got different buttons that you can use as far as French fries, steak, fish, shrimp, chicken. I'm going to hit chicken. And it tells me I can cook chicken at either 180, but I like a little bit of crunch on it. 380. I like a little bit of a crunch on it, so I turn mine up. Sorry, hold on one second. I turn mine up to about 390, and I think that's perfect. Then what I do is I can cook it it cooks usually about 20 minutes, but I like to flip it in between times and also check on it to make sure it's working properly or cooking properly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the time to 10 minutes. As you can see, it's on 10 minutes, and the temperature that we have is on 390 degrees. I'm going to turn the light on the inside so everybody can see the inside. I'm going to open up the air fryer. I'm going to take this chicken. Doesn't look like much right now, does it? Give me a minute, or about 20. I'm going to slide this in. I'm going to put it probably like midway in, as you can see, because the air comes from the top, comes down and circulates underneath and comes up. At the end, I'll move it up so I can get a little bit more of a crisp on the front of it too. All right, that's it so far. So let me shut this closed for 10 minutes, and then we'll see what happens in 10 minutes. There it goes. I'll see you in 10. Okay, it's been 10 minutes. Now I'm going to take these out. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn them over. And you can see, I'm going to flip them over. And if you can come over here, get on up in there. Don't be afraid. My kitchen's open to everybody. Okay, we're going to turn them over here. And even if you see a little bit of white on it like this, that's fine, because you're going to spray it down a little bit more with some of the oil, but you can see it cooked on both sides so far right now. And it's starting to get a little bit of that golden color to it. And then let me finish flipping these. And then what we're going to do is we're going to spray this side down a little bit. Not as much as before, but it's enough to get some of that white, see that white, some of the flour still in there. Okay. Now we're going to cook it on this side for another 10 minutes. So we're going to stick it back in here. But you can see already, look, it's starting to get that color on it. Okay, we're going to stick it back in here. Same, a little bit higher than what it was before, because now I want to start to get a little bit of that crispiness on it. I'm going to turn it back on. I'm going to turn it back up to 390 like I had it. I'm going to take care of the time, and I'll put the time down to 10 minutes. And I can't tell you how hard I'm working over here. I'm pretty working up a sweat. You know, when you cook chicken and the kitchen gets all hot and you get a sweat pouring down. That's what's happening right now. Can't help it, but here's the hardest I'm working so far. 10 more minutes. We'll be back in 10. We'll be back in 10, but I'm going to check it in 5. Just see if I need to flip it to the other side and make sure it's alright. But I'll see you in 5. Alright folks, we're at 5 minutes, you can see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the chicken out. I want to see how it looks and see if I need to turn it over and see what kind of color I got on the top of it. Oh, it's starting to get there a little bit, but it's not done yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn it over again. Oh, look at that color there. That's beautiful. Look at this. Oh, and Patrice, I can already feel the crunch on it by just touching it with the tongs. Okay. Now, since I've already put enough oil on it, I don't want to put any more oil on it. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to get the outside a little bit crispier. And since I do like it a little crispier, I will spray a tiny bit on there just to get it a little crisper. And then back in for the remaining 5 minutes. And then I'm going to check them again in 5 minutes and see how they like them. I like my chicken wings, ouch, crunchy. Careful, because that's hot. I like my chicken wings crunchy. So I like to keep them in there for a little bit longer than we normally would, only to get that crunch on the top of them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it back on for the 5 minutes it's got left. And then what I'll do, if I want it a little bit crunchier, I'm going to go ahead and put it on for about 5 minutes more on 400 just to get a crunch on the outside. So here we go. Alright, perfect. It's 2 minutes left. You can see the timer says 2 on it. So I want to check it. Now it's been 3 minutes to see what it looks like. It's not bad. I'm going to keep it over here in case the juices fall off. It's not bad. I want to get a little bit more crispier. So I'm going to leave it in there for the other remaining 2 minutes and go from there and see what we have. Okay. Back on for 2 minutes. And while I'm waiting for 2 minutes, I want to give out a shout out to everybody that asked about it. I'm going to start out with, first of all, everybody that liked and commented on the chicken wings. And I'll go through other videos and thank everybody. But Isabel Torres, Natalie Gardner, Aaron, Roger, Miss Allen, Compton Allen, Romeo, Joshua, Austin, Edith, Laura Legs, my sister, I love you, my auntie Cynthia, or Cindy I would call her, Brenda, Chantel, Megan, Alicia, Len, Dean, and then everybody that left a comment. I want to say thank you guys, but I also want to say thank you to the people that also left comments. My sister Andrew, Harry, my sister Patrice, my sister Laura, Edith, Austin, Mike Dog with a $, what's up brother, and Romeo, and then of course Helen Lorenzo. Thank everybody, and I hope this helps you guys when you're cooking chicken wings. I want to add this, I think I'm going to add another minute to it real quick, just to get it nice and crispy. So let's wait 2 minutes. I'm going to pull it out, check the temperature on it. Matter of fact, let me check the temperature now so I can see if I have to add any time to it. And it's important that you check your temperature in air frying. My mother could check temperature just by her nose, knowing her food cooking when she cooked on the stove. What I would use, and I prefer, and I suggest you use, I use a digital thermometer. And what you do is you turn on the digital thermometer, and you want to try to get in the center of the meat as you can. And with chicken, you know that you want the temperature to be at least in between over 180 degrees. And right now it's at 198, or it's at 200 degrees right there, so that's good. It's cooked. It's beautiful. Let me check these little pieces here real quick. So we're good. I want to get a little bit more crunchiness on it, so I'm going to leave it in for another 2 minutes, or another minute probably with the air fryer, because the air fryer fries pretty quickly. So I'm going to leave it in for probably the remainder 2 minutes, and then I'm going to pull it out and then let it cool, and then we're going to do the ultimate, very important crunch test. See it in there, and look, there's very little mess. I mean, that's all you really have to clean up when you're done with it. It's a tray that pulls out. This back tray pulls out, so all the splashings go in there. The only thing I don't like is you get crumbs that are down in here in the vent area, and my wife's great at helping me keep this clean. So we're gonna put it back on for the 2 minutes and take it out in 2 minutes. We know the temperature's perfect on it. I don't want to dry the meat out. I want to keep it nice and moist on the inside. But I also want that crunch my sister talks about. And then when it's done in 2 minutes, I'll plate it up and I'll show you guys what it looks like. There we are, folks. Air fried chicken wings. And I'm gonna let these cool, and then I'm gonna let you hear the crunch on them too, because these boys are perfect. And you can see the color. Look at that. I know you're hungry. You want some, don't you? All right, let them cool. I'll be back. Bye. All right, my sister wanted to know about the crunch test, so I want to save some of these for the family and for Noah, who's my partner here at SoCal Air Fryers. But I want you to hear the crunch on it. So ready? Here we go. Am I in there? Need a little hot sauce, but that's pretty damn good. And that's just a little bone. Well, that's the end of the video. I do want to show you a couple things afterwards, so I'm going to put a little snippet on there. But for everybody that asked about this, here it is, air fried chicken wing. And you got it first, or you got it here at SoCal Fryers. Peace. Let's hit a crunch test. Oh, I can hear the crunch all the way over here. Good?
Crispy wing.
Also, I want to show you guys something before I let you go. As I went through the internet and I found all the recipes I could find. So what I did is I broke into a recipe book. This is my breakfast part of the recipe book, and you can see the different recipes that I have that I can use to cook. This is the frittata that I made. Picture's ugly, sorry. But there's a lot of different things you can make in an air fryer. It's just not just chicken. It's not just meat, sausage, bacon. Over here are my appetizers, fried egg rolls. Come on, guys, fried egg rolls. Over here I've got a empanada. I've got a spinach dip that I'm working on making next. So that may be one of my next videos if I show you. Air fried buffalo wings. Over here I've got for my dinners, I've got all kind of recipes for dinner. Oh, these are snacks. I've got cheeseburgers, fish tacos, chicken nuggets, bacon wrap hot dogs. I don't know if you've ever been down to Mexico, but have those Mexican hot dogs, they're better here. Taquitos. And then over here is my dinner section. The rotisserie chicken. I've got a couple different recipes for rotisserie chicken, 3 different recipes for rotisserie chicken. I've got also roasted red pepper prosciutto stuffed chicken. I've got fried panko chicken parmesan, which I made and I will make again so everybody can see. But you can find all kind of different recipes. I've even got side dishes. For instance, I made lobster. Where's the recipe for it? I know I just saw it. But I made lobster in the air fryer. And you can make pretty much anything that you want to make in it. All you got to do is do it. I've even tried freestyling some stuff. What I use these for are basically the times and the temperatures that I cook them on. So there's a little helpful hint for those guys that are going to go out and buy an air fryer or ones that have one and is collecting dust in the cabinet. Pull it out, use it. Thanks, guys.